I got a new version of a knife that is already arguably one of the most popular production pocket knives, ever made. This is the CIVIVI Elementum 2 button lock. Now, oh, she's got a flipper. Up on the screen are going to be some specs and, their measurements. I went ahead and I took them all myself, but I'll also have them listed for you down in the description, along with those links to buy. I've had this for like a few weeks now, but, I couldn't show it until today. And man, was that tough, because as soon as I found out about it, I wanted to charter a plane and drop leaflets from the sky. That's how excited I was. Okay, I'm being a little dramatic, but you get my point. This is a big deal because until now, there was no Elementum button lock in the standard size. We had to settle for this larger one with its unique deployment. For those of you that never bought one of these, the only way to deploy the blade, was to just go ahead and push that button, and then you would just kind of swing it open, but I got to give them points for originality. And I think CIVIVI learned from their mistake, when they went and put that black coating on the internals, specifically the plunger, which was part of the reason why the button would stick on this. If you look inside the new one, you can see that they went ahead and left the plunger uncoated. And, you can also feel the difference right away because the button, it doesn't stick, and oh yeah, it is completely silent. Now, this might not be a fair comparison because this button is, it's a dome and the other is concave, but just look at how far the button sticks out past the scale on the original button lock. Now check out how it sits on this new one. Yep, that button, yeah, it's perfectly flush with the G10 scale. The action is friggin' amazing. It is so difficult for me to, fail it when I'm opening the blade, which, we all know is the sign of a good, well-tuned detent. And I made sure to check for detent play, just by kind of lightly pushing on the flipper, and it's nice and tight. I didn't see any blade movement. Closing it is even better on the ceramic bearings. Now that blade, it drops shut. Oh, look at that. Nice and smooth with little to no bounce back. I do wish they would have added a fuller or something, just to give it another opening option. But you can easily add a removable thumb stud. And I'll be sure to go ahead and put a link to it down in the description. Almost everything about the blade is the same as, the original liner lock Elementum. It is still going to be under 3 inches, which is great if you live somewhere with restrictions. And yeah, it still has that nice hollow grind. Instead of D2 steel, we now get a nitro-v blade, which is really one of my favorite budget steels out there because of its above average toughness and corrosion resistance. One thing I noticed about the handle is that at 0.51 inches, it feels a little bit thicker than I remember. So I went ahead and I grabbed the only other D2 version I have, and it's this one with the copper scales. And sure enough, I measured it and it's thinner at 0.43. Part of that has to do with, the different locks. The button is going to need, you can see it needs more room to move that plunger out of the blade's path, so it can close. The liner lock doesn't need that extra space. Now, in a second, I have to show you something that I know some of you are not going to be happy about, but they went ahead and slapped on the new pocket clip design, that they're using. And that attachment point, it is going to be, yeah, you can see it's nested into the G10, so flush with the scale, won't get hung up on your pocket. Unfortunately, it's only a 1-position clip, so no lefty love today. And, I'm not sure why, because the original button lock version, you can see, has a 2-position clip. To start, now CIVIVI is releasing 3 different versions of this. There's going to be a satin blade with natural G10, a black blade with OD green G10, and this one that I have here, the all blacked out version. If we've learned anything about the Elementum, there will eventually be a ton of different versions of this really soon. Now, once these are available, you can get them from either CIVIVI's website or on Amazon. They're going to cost anywhere between like $65 to $76. Right now, there's a video up on the screen that I personally picked out for you to go ahead and watch next. And hey, if you haven't already, consider subscribing if you're looking for knife reviews. They get right to the point. All right, hey, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.